Good as time as any.
All right. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Were you able to do any research, or do I need to kind of start at the beginning?
Research on 2020?
Yeah.
Yeah, no research on 2020.
Okay. Let me give you the cliff notes. Okay. So first of all, the reason why I'm giving you a call is because there is an individual that we are representing right now in the field of accounting, who obviously has spent some time with you and is aware of what you're doing right now at AV. And a comment that was made was not that you're looking to make a change, but they had a lot of respect for what you were doing. And the word that I jotted down was a little bit more horsepower than what he's being tapped into. And I don't know whether or not that's your feelings about where you are right now, but that's what prompted the phone call. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right. So the company that I work for is a company that is hired by what a lot of people consider to be some of the strongest UAV and UAS companies in the world. Most of our work, 90% of our work, is done in North America, but we have a couple of European clients as well. And these are companies that have caught really strong recognition because of one primary fact, and that is they refuse to hire mediocre players. These are companies that have kind of set a bar of quality in the people that they hire, and they use my company to do their cherry picking for them. And my company is broken up into different divisions that go all the way from people in UAV that are writing the algorithms that are going into perception systems and hyperspectral programs that are being written and so forth, all the way to tax accountants that are just working in the UAV space. My area that I represent happens to be the accounting and the financial side of the UAV world. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. So it's a pretty tight specialization that we have. And again, I don't know if you have an interest in keeping your ears open, but I thought I would call you and find out whether or not you might have an interest in staying abreast of opportunities that might be a little stronger than what you perceive you've got right now.
I think that's smart for any professional to do, to understand what's going on in the market. And if you're, career driven and have higher aspirations than your current position, then I think that's something that everyone needs to do.
Well, being an owner of a headhunting firm, I would totally agree with that. But it's not the way that it works all the time. I can't tell you how many folks that we talk to that say, you couldn't pull me out of here with a team of Clydesdales.
Yeah.
But is the timing of my call better for you career-wise now than maybe in other periods of your career?
Well, the beginning of May will be 3 years here at Beckman. But ultimately, yeah, my career goal is to be a controller at a company. So I have to keep my eyes and ears open to never know when those kind of opportunities will come up. But I don't have a set time frame. I don't need to be with a company 5 to 8 years kind of thing. So if the right opportunity comes up and I think I'm ready for that jump, then I'm definitely going to seriously look at it.
Okay, I think that's kind of a pretty balanced way to keep things into perspective. If I hadn't have called you, would you have been thinking about the fact that the intervals in your movement are not getting you where you want to ultimately be quickly enough? Or, Nicole, let's freeze it.
I'm actually waiting to, I don't know.
Who I'm talking to right now, guys, is about $175,000 assistant controller and of a pretty major company. How much does he know about the job that I'm working right now?
Nothing.
Okay. Has he blown me off because I've taken too long to introduce my company?
He's resisting the hook setting.
He's resisting the hook? Or is he telling me the truth?
A little of both at this point, but have you really tried to set the hook?
I did. I did. What I am trying to do right now, and I really want you guys to pay attention to this. The recruiting call only begins, guys, once you understand that the candidate has what we call a serious enough career wound to move forward. The first thing that we have to test is whether or not we have somebody that's kicking tires or whether or not we've got somebody that's serious about making a change. And at the level of guy that this is, you know, comes out of 6 years of public accounting, and then he had, I think, 5 years, if I remember properly, of being a corporate controller in a little bit of a smaller company. Now he's an assistant controller. He's got enough class that he's not going to just come out. I'm going to have to stay with him and fiddle with this a little bit until I really get to the meat of the situation as to whether or not he's serious or he's not serious. And I just want you guys to realize that if I do this well, I'm building a relationship with this guy that I can use in the future if he's not ready right now. But I also want you to realize that if he's ready right now and it just takes a little bit more foreplay on my side, a little more business foreplay to get him to crack open, man, is that worth the time spent. I don't know of any high level billers that do a recruiting call in 7 minutes or 5 minutes unless somebody just straight comes out and is rude and just says, you're a headhunter, I have no interest, and they dump you. So I just want you to understand that this is a valuable investment of time. Okay, let's go.
What this person is, I mean, I can guess a couple possibilities of who the person that referred you to me is, but I actually am waiting to hear back on whether or not, I think I'm kind of one of two candidates right now that the new CFO will be looking at for the Director of Finance role in our EES division, Efficient Industry Solutions. Mm-hmm. So, you know, that's an example of, hey, I'm always looking to further my career and my experience. So that's one opportunity.
Potential job order if he doesn't get hired, guys?
You know, I wouldn't say that I'm actively looking,
Absolutely.
but I think I have a large network of recruiters that I've worked with over the last 12 years, either calling me or that I've hired people from. So, you know, people are always calling me about opportunities.
It's hard to give it to.
You know, you might yourself find someone's LinkedIn profile that looks attractive, and you know, you present them with an opportunity to see if you can help them out or something that they're interested in. So I would say I'm passively looking, you know, for a controller type opportunity.
Have I presented you an opportunity yet?
You have not.
Okay, so one of the things that I just want to share with you is that our company is vehemently opposed to presenting you, or what we affectionately call baiting the candidate, with an opportunity that might be stronger than where they're at before we first hear a candidate's purest views as to what the finish line is for them. And really where they want to go and what the intervals of growth are for them. When you start with a candidate's desire for a particular wish list and hear that before you taint it with explaining what jobs you're working on, your ability to match so much more successfully is so evident, which is one of the reasons why our company has what is called in the industry a 2.2 to 1 send out ratio. That means for every 2 interviews that we create with clients, somebody gets hired. National averages are 7 to 1. And I think this is because we take the time on the front end to really understand what's important to you. You know, to me, and I remember getting recruiting calls myself, and having somebody pitch a job to me was almost like a doctor walking in and pitching medicine before he knew what was wrong with me. You know,
Freeze.
just kind of
Cold freeze.
Okay. What I want you guys to realize is that knowing that he is a high-level individual and that he has worked with recruiters both from an in-placement standpoint as well as an out-placement standpoint, right? He's hired people at his level as well as had recruiters probably place him before. He values a relationship with a recruiter, but he actually gave me the scenario of how recruiters approach him by telling me that they pretty much pitch a job. I took the time to explain to him the same thing that I explained to you guys, to my students, about the difference between how high performance recruiters work and how average recruiters work. And this is so important to explain this to your clients. It's important to explain it to a client. It's important to explain it to a candidate, because they start to get the feeling that you're not incongruent in terms of the agenda that you have, that you're not trying to find somebody to place. You are trying to develop a genuine interest in who somebody is and what they want before you can do a diagnosis. Does everybody understand that? Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or hit your table if you're on the phone?
Yahoo!
Okay, I just want you to realize that this is the thing that draws people towards us in terms of credibility, in terms of being real people, in terms of not being sales guys that are just looking to close. You know, and if you don't have an interest in a job, you've got a sister, somebody else I can call here. You know what I'm saying, guys? It's about making the candidate feel that they're not a slab of meat. You have the ability to make a decision what part of the pond do you want to fish at? I like to fish in the part of the pond that takes me a little longer to fish, but man, do I know what I got when I've hooked it. And boy, do I know that I can defend my fees when I've got it. So, you know, I guess my question to you is, because I'm not here to break up a happy home, and if you think that that going into the EES division as a director of finance is a really good step for you, then we probably shouldn't talk until you really understand it. I mean, we can talk, but you know, nothing that would be definitive. But if you feel that you're not hitting on all cylinders, and that you've got the ability to actually move into a controllership position, possibly in a little bit of a smaller company. Obviously, your company is a pretty large company in the world of defense systems and UAV, but there are some companies that might consider, I won't say might, there are some companies that would consider your background in the UAV space to be equivalent to a smaller chief financial officership. So, you know, my question to you is there a variance between where you are today and where you think you ought to be? And are the intervals of movement coming at the right pace? If not, I could have the ability to accelerate that possibly.
Yeah, no, I would say that is the case. You know, if I can get, I'm currently recruiting an accounting manager role. CFO who's
job order lead.
His last day will be the 28th, and filling in and just CFO from VP of Finance. You know, he approved for the AP manager position that left for me to upgrade it to an accounting manager because we need some more accounting bench strength. So I think I'd be in a better position and more fulfilled, if you will, in my career with being able to do that higher level work, more value add stuff than I currently am right now. because I'm getting brought into a lot of the detail, right?
How are they?
Yeah, I'm still trying to fill that out as well.
How are they filling the CFO position? Okay, let's freeze for a second now. Okay, I'm going to move us a little bit faster. Do you guys think that with this pending job that he is vying for in his company right now, do you think that he is a candidate that I ought to invite in now and do a complete full interview with him? Or do you think that this is a candidate that I should set on for a little bit, wait the 2 weeks, stay in touch with him, maybe concentrate on picking up the 2 job orders that he's about to give me? And so the rest of my call is spent finding out a little bit more about who the contact should be. But rather than finding out who the contact should be for me to make the phone call, I think that this guy now has enough knowledge of the difference between how my company does things. Hopefully they think we're a little classier than some other firms and other companies, that I have asked him, because we're going to forward through this, to make a recommendation to the controller to give me a phone call so we can discuss a cost position that he's got that has to work with the government, and it's about $125,000 accounting job.
Was interim CFO. He had a consultant or a temp for a while, and so that reports directly to the VP and controller, Ken Craig. And I know that's kind of like a unicorn to find that kind of position or pulling someone out of.
He's giving me the job order. Good.
Or, in your bullpen, at least one.
UAS. Now he's actually asking me for candidates, and that's our wheelhouse. So if you want to put in a plug for that, feel free to do that, and I'd love to have a conference call with them. I won't chase them down for that, though, because it's a little bit lighter than the positions that we normally work. But
okay, yeah, the level you guys are working at is more of a director, VP, executive.
Yeah, kind of starting at your position and moving up from there. We also have a division that does nothing but international tax and domestic tax, both in Canada and in the United States. So, we're pretty niche oriented.
Well, I mean, do you have on your, in your bullpen, at least 1 or 2 ideas of some candidates that are looking, or that, you say you're not necessarily saying, hey, I need to pull people.
He's actually asking me to submit now, okay? And I'm gonna tell him that we don't just submit resumes. We got to have a detailed conversation. Well, maybe you guys want to hear what that sounds like.
I need to pull people to try and sell them on a role to make the move. But people that you've already have a relationship and contact with might be happy in their position right now, or just waiting for the right opportunity. Do you already have a couple of ideas in your head of some people that might be, maybe you need to look at the job description on the internet, but
are you talking about for your position or for the cost position?
No, for the government cost accounting manager.
I would imagine that wouldn't be that difficult for us to do, but we wouldn't just throw people at you based on a job description. We would want to have a decent conversation with somebody who really, really technically understands the software that's got to be utilized, the depth of the projects. We go pretty deep, and then we can really pinpoint the right people for that. We're not the kind of group that would just send you 5 resumes and say, here, you pick it. You guys got to tell us exactly what it is that you want, and then we'll present 1 or 2 people, and you'll have a hire in that bunch.
Yeah. Okay. Peter, appreciate the talk. It was a nice meeting with you and a good conversation. I think you guys have a good model. You know, the perception I have is good.
Good. I'm pleased.